I feel like this is not the best time to do one of these spaces, but it is what it is. I go to this stupid bar. I hate going to this shit so bad. I feel like this is not the best time to do one of these. There we go. I want to just kind of jump into this shit too, yo. Just dive right the fuck in, you know? I feel like there's so much to cover. Um, Make sure it just didn't delete my shit. Yeah, there's so much shit to cover. So there's that. If you are on YouTube, there's also this channel here. So it's Gamecast. You can find me on YouTube. You'll see the same emblem there, which looks like four circles and notes in them. So there's that. Um, but there are some things I actually wanted to post in here. Let's take a look to see what this is. Ooh, that was deleted, unfortunately. And I will share that to the space. Okay. And what else? There we go. I feel like there was something else. No, this is the Horizon one. Is it in here? Aha. That way we have all of the stuff going on here. So anyway, I just ate some food, so I'm sluggish as hell. I really apologize, man. I am super sluggish, but you know, we better get to it. We better get to it. And that's what we're gonna do. Why is this a blank spot? Oh, because I can't show the videos. I see. All right, we're gonna go here. And we can actually, instead of doing that, we can do this. Can we? Oh, okay, okay, okay. There we go. Cool. I like this little feature. It makes it nice. It's nice to follow through. Either way. Let's begin. Welcome to the No Filter Podcast. Oh, 91, man. What's going on with you? Let me I thought I was following you. What the fuck? What the fuck, bro? I swear I was following you. Either way. Let's get into it. So, welcome to the No Filter Podcast. This is actually being streamed on YouTube as well as being simultaneously recorded onto Twitter. If uh, you don't want to be recorded, if you decide to jump in there, just to let you know, this is being recorded. So, if you don't want to be recorded, this is your only and final warning. So, either way, we have two topics to talk about. We're just going to dive right into it. Uh, and we already like 4 minutes late in this bitch, yo. Usually I have like some sort of story, whatever the case is, but I'm in a perpetual forward motion right now. So we're going to talk about it. And the thing that we want to start off with is false narratives from Xbots, followed by Jim Ryan PC sellout, which these titles are just a joke. You know what I'm saying? They have some serious. They have some truth to it. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of the false narratives here, one of the things that I did notice when it comes to Xbots is that they will create their own arguments, right? Their own debates, and that's how they win a lot of these arguments. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they'll say that the PlayStation 5 has no games, right? That's what they'll say. It has no games whatsoever. And they want people to jump in there and they already have an argument about it. See, that's a bad example. To me, I feel like that's a bad example because I don't feel like that's the case. But I don't know if you noticed this shit too. So you know what? I could show you better than I could tell you. So here's another one, right? And I'm sure that there's some people that have said this or made some sort of commentary about this. So I have posted into the spaces what Diller stated, and Diller states another Sony first person or first party game heading to the PC. Then he says, but, oh wait, that sounds about right. So Windows Central Gaming states that Returnal is supposed to be going to Steam. And the thing is, yo, Nathan, what's going on? Xbots, yo, they are Xbots. I'm sorry, they are, man. So the thing is, you can see it here. Windows Central states that it's going to go to PC, and we already knew this when we start getting Days Gone and Horizon Zero Dawn out to PC. We already knew what the story was going to be about. We already knew that Sony was doing it, so it's always this brand new. I've never heard of this. This Sony never stated this before. Why are they? Why is this happening? And it's always usually an Xbot that states this shit. And you could just kind of like see, scrolling down here or whatever the case is. They talk about leaving money on the table, as you can see. They talk about, they do the same thing about how much, how better it is on a PC, which I honestly don't feel like the upgrades for the PC is that substantial, especially this generation. But last generation, we started to see the gap kind of close. It was you're going to add more frames, some more texture details. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like these things were like revolutionary in terms of the looks and stuff like that. But the bottom line is, we already knew that Sony was doing these things. We totally understood what was going on. We already knew. This isn't new. This isn't new. Sony has already stated that they were going to go to PC. And some of the things that they did say is that I think this is something about like half their games or some shit like that was going to go to PC. Or let me see if I can find it here so you guys can have that for your records. I was saving all of this shit, and for some reason, this Kotaku thing is blocked, and I don't know why. Is it? Oh no! So I could put it there. Okay. Or is this one? No. Wait. Is it? Let me see. Hold on. Okay, so we can do that here. Yeah, we did. I posted both of those things on there. But the bottom line is this. I'll say this because I'm all over the place and I'm trying to wake the fuck up, and I'm sorry. Essentially, there's always these people that claim that PlayStation fans are moving the goalposts, and I never understood that sentiment. No one's moving any goalposts. There are some fans that are definitely bothered by the fact that these games are going to PC. They're definitely bothered by it, and that's fine. And I always ask myself, like, why are these people so pressed for this shit, yo? It never, it's always funny to me as to why these people are so fucking pressed. It's always funny to me. How come I can't do this fucking? I don't understand. That's so annoying. I saved. See, this is why you screenshot shit, and I think um I need to go to my screens. I think I need to go to my screens to see if I screenshotted this because that would be the best way. I did. Ooh la la la. Okay, I'm gonna tweet this shit out. So I don't understand what this false narrative is. You know what I'm saying? I never understood what them creating their own arguments so they can beat a person at their game because they created their own arguments. I never understood that science to everything. Um, and that always made me like, what the fuck's going on with that? It was always weird to me. So here are some examples here. Let me just kind of put this on Twitter. Close this out. I'm gonna create another tweet. I have to create another tweet to make this work. Here we go. Here we go. Thank you very much. And we're going to discuss some of these commentaries. So I guess the biggest thing that I want to discuss here is how many PlayStation fans are supposedly bothered by the shit going on PC as well. That's something that I definitely want to kind of go over. I feel like they're being big crybabies, but and I feel like it's not a good look either. It's not a good look for anybody that's a fan of PlayStation. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but still, man, it's like super annoying. But from my understanding, the shit that we had a problem with, there was a narrative, and I think that's what I was going to do. Now I got it. All right, cool. So enough droning. I got this shit because I actually posted this shit into my into this notepad of mine here. Where is it? Okay, cool. So the first thing that I see is that we cared about VRR, right? Variable refresh rate, and we didn't. There was a reason as to why we didn't care about variable refresh rate, and that reason was the games ran better on PlayStation. It was always funny. All good, G. Though I'll be there. Big delay over here. It's going to be a delay from me, so you'll see that PC has the ability to consistently upgrade the parts. That's not fair to say console closed the gap on them because we can run much more demanding games at a higher quality. Then you have to define, Nathan, what's considered a higher quality. How much would you say is a higher quality? Because one more pixel could substantiate higher quality. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, you're going to see a little delay here on the video versus what I'm actually saying. So don't look too deeply into it. It's just filler so you can see what's going on with the video. But we were supposed to have an issue with variable refresh rate. We didn't. Then there was an issue about ray tracing, right? And the truth came out: more games on PlayStation has ray tracing than Xbox. It's just funny, you know what I'm saying? So that argument kind of was thrown to the wayside, right? Um, then there was an issue about upgrades and shit like that, and they got mad about either upgrades for Horizon Forbidden West and Gran Turismo and all those other particular games. That was a big problem. That really wasn't started by the PlayStation community. We really didn't care, but Xbox, wanted us to care so deeply about this stupid shit. It was dumb, and we didn't care about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Then it was the PlayStation 3, the Vita store, and then it's just backwards compatibility. Like all of these narratives that comes out, they're not generated by PlayStation fans. It's just like with Nintendo. When Nintendo does a lot of fucked up things, the fans don't really give a fuck about it. You know what I'm saying? And I guess the media knows that the fans don't give a fuck about, what other people have to say about that community. But for some reason, maybe because Sony has a bigger target on their backs, they feel like we are supposed to care about PlayStation 3 and Vita stores that has basically been out of commission for, I don't know, 10 years or some shit like that. 15 years probably. I mean, it still works, functional, but they don't add anything on there. Or if they do add anything on there, it's not a full all cylinders type situation. So that's one thing that's going on. But the false narratives that I'm saying before, like I said before, we were on X Play and they were saying that we have no fucking games. These false narratives. We don't have any games. We don't have any games all year because we didn't have any games because of the holiday season. All of our games came out the first 3 quarters last year. And all of a sudden the narrative was we didn't have any games. Then they were talking about upgrades and how the game was fucking DLC and that we were supposed to care about this statement. People did say that they weren't that impressed with God of War. They did say that, but it wasn't to the point where it should make headlines and start trending on fucking Twitter. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of people that hates the fanboys or the fans of PlayStation and PlayStation itself. You know what I mean? You got people that hate PlayStation itself because these journalists, right? Or influencers, right? That they don't like the fact that Sony is not giving them extra information more than what anybody else could acquire, or they're not getting any swag. So the journalists don't fucking like Sony. The Xbots definitely don't like Sony at all, or anything really, anything to do with Sony. But there's been constantly these outrage topics, which is funny to me. Just be clear, we don't give a fuck about VRR. We never did. And maybe it's because this fucking content coming onto our consoles. We don't give a fuck. We didn't care about ray tracing like that. We didn't care about everybody creating this false narrative about, oh, 9 teraflops is the weakest console of all time and shit like that. And somehow it pulls above its weight. You know what I'm saying? And when it came to the services, we got emulation going on with PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation portable games. And everybody's like, oh, the frame rate is fucked up. All of these outrage topics and shit like that, just to get a click or a view or just to troll people. The general populace, this is why Sony is doing what they're doing in terms of putting their games on PC. We don't care. We just don't care. We don't care. And it's just funny that these people come with these fake ass narratives. It's just funny. It's absolutely funny. I remember when this shit started popping off, and they when we first got VRR, which was a few months ago and shit like that. All of a sudden, it was just like, oh, I thought you said that you didn't want VRR. Nobody fucking said that, but the Xbox fans created that fucking narrative that we were shitting on VRR. We just didn't give a fuck about it. You know what I'm saying? Ray tracing, even, we don't give a fuck about that either. The reason why people are saying things about ray tracing is because the Xbots said that the PlayStation 5 can't do ray tracing. That was the reason why we even entertain that conversation. You know what I'm saying? So that was that. In terms of the upgrade, I truly believe that there were a lot of Xbots that claimed that they had a PS5, and some Xbots do have a PS5, believe it or not. They really, truly have a PlayStation 5, and they appear as neutrals. They literally do not want to be perceived as an Xbox. So they would do everything that it would take. They would get a PC, they would get a Switch, they would get a PS5, and then claim that I got all the fucking consoles. I still don't like it. I only like Xbox, and not have any fucking games to go along with it. It's funny to me, you know. So there's that. Um, then, like I said before, the PlayStation 3 and Vita store, that was the whole outrage. And there's all these memes out here that Jim Ryan is trying to steal your fucking money. You know what I mean? He's a bandit. He's a credit card bandit. He's stealing all your fucking money because the company is asking for money for their services. You know what I'm saying? The narratives that comes out of the equal mind, or I should say, level-headed, a level-headed fans. There are some people that are illogical when it comes to the PlayStation fandom, right? But for the people that have their heads on straight, the arguments that come out there, the Thrash, King Thrash Gaming, and just Colin, the secret or sacred symbols, when they talk about problems with the Xbox, they're talking about the problems that are pertinent to an Xbox fan and just gaming in general, and that is looked at as an attack. Like, you just can't say anything bad about this fucking company or the console that is lacking games. I spoke to Fatal, and if you don't know him, basically he is a person that prefers the Xbox. I spoke to Fatal, and Fatal stated that what could Microsoft, what could they have done? They acquired these studios because everyone stated that there were no games. So they acquired these studios so late in the lifespan of PlayStation or Xbox. Gaming night, Gem PC Ryan. It was so late in the game, right, that they decided to scoop up, right? They decided to scoop up PlayStation or developers late in the game in 2017, and they were already making games. So that excuses them from not having games in 2022 and having these delays. And then we are looked at as an antagonist. We're being antagonistic for saying at least 3 years after they purchased it, we should have had these games in 2021. Then the excuse of COVID did it. But I'm like, well, everybody else dealt with COVID too, and you still don't have any fucking games in there but the typical games that you always had before. Halo, Gears, and not even Gears, but Halo and Forza. And no one can criticize that. And it's like, well, what do you expect them to do? I expect them, if they don't have, you don't buy studios for the fucking games. You don't buy the studios. You acquire talent. You don't just take the whole fucking studio as is. And then as they're working on fucking games, you either told them this shit needs to work well with Game Pass, or we're just going to just continue to do what you're going to do and not make a game for 18, 19, 20, 21, for 5 fucking years. These little, oh, they're putting too much on their plate, these little studios. Whose problem is that? You telling me there ain't no freelance developers out there? You don't have to buy the whole fucking cow to get the milk. You could have just bought a fucking gallon. You don't need the whole cow. Whose fault is this? That's the narrative that a level-headed fanboy or a level-headed consumer will bring up. There is absolute issues with the way that Microsoft is delivering things. And they cultivated these fans that in order for them to be validated, they lean into Metacritic, which is can be easily paid off. They lean into what the social media is basically stating, because you know social media always wants the social justice all the time. You know what I mean? God forbid if a developer wants some fucking money for the game that they created, that's anti-consumer because they are literally not giving you their game for fucking free. Like within reason, I get it. You know, we all get it. I would hope we all believe or we all know what is abusive when it comes to practices. You know what I'm saying? So that's the funny thing when you look at this shit. It's absolutely hilarious that they need to create a false narrative to win an argument. It's literally creating an argument. They create the conditions for the argument so they can win the argument. You know what I'm saying? So it's just weird. It's weirdo shit to me. It's weirdo shit to me. Like the only way they can win an argument. What's going on, Hart? The only way they can win an argument, right, is to create an argument, their own argument, with their own logic and conditions. Stating like last year, PlayStation had no games at all, despite the fact that we had Returnal, we had what do you call it? We had Kana, that game. We also had Ratchet and Clank, and just because it didn't come out holiday season, that was the parameters for their argument. The only thing that matters is a holiday season to make themselves win an argument. They state that PlayStation didn't have any games and ignored the other fucking what is it? And it ignored the other 9 months. Like, what kind of argument is this shit, yo? You know what I'm saying? And if you try to check an Xbot, you know what I'm saying? They cry. They cry. They instantly go into defense mode, saying that you're attacking them, you're being toxic. You can't get mad at my games. You know, what kind of a consumer are you for not wanting to have shit for free? It's not a consumer. It's understanding the rules of engagement. If you want something of quality, you know there's a cost to it. And then we know if you're over fucking paying as well. We generally know. I never understood the Xbox. I never understood what drives them to that platform. One could say Game Pass and these indie games, but then why did you buy a Series X or an S? What was your purpose for buying it when you could just get it on the last generation consoles? You already have it, don't you? What was the purpose? You know? Why buy a $500 console to play indie games? A lot of Xbox's games, it does not utilize the hardware properly. It just doesn't. And when I say that, it's not saying it's unoptimized. I'm just saying it is at the lowest common denominator. They just focus on the Xbox One, like the original one, and then just start adding effects or graphics to it and keeping it moving. It doesn't progress the fucking game. It's just weird to me. Why do you got to create false narratives to win it? Why do you have to create your own argument with its own ideals and its own parameters just to win an argument instead of tackling the fucking problem? It's very interesting. When I did talk to Fatal, and he was on my podcast the last time, he really had an issue. You know, everything else gets downplayed. The PlayStation Premium service gets downplayed because of what? See, the thing is, on Xbox Game Pass, right? And I'll go to my next topic here. On Xbox Game Pass, here's the interesting thing about that. That argument would have been absolutely perfect if Microsoft released AAA games onto the service, which coincidentally, when Jim Ryan had their Q&A, someone asked him about that. You know what I'm saying? That argument is fine if you had the content. Microsoft truthfully didn't really release that much content for their own service. So they rely on third party or indies or these weird ass deals. You know what I mean? Games that are suspected to fail, you know, that they're going to put out there to fluff up their offerings instead of actually creating content. And then when you ask an Xbot, where are the games? It's not Microsoft's fault. They're only human. What do you expect? Nintendo and PlayStation and everybody the fuck else seem to not be impacted that much from the pandemic. So what is their excuse? A $2 trillion company. Oh, they don't really connect to the to the Xbox brand. You know, Windows is Windows, and like whose fault is that? This mismanagement. And instead of you kind of going to the source and saying, "Hey, I'm not going to put my money," like for instance, everybody knows I don't like Naughty Dog anymore, and I don't like social justice warrior shit. I don't like any of that shit. You know, I want things to be natural instead of you trying to win brownie points. That shit's irritating to me. So what happens is this: despite the fact that Naughty Dog being under the umbrella of PlayStation, I will not purchase any of their games until they act right. Until they stop trying to get points from social media, from Twitter, which is the very small, the people that will buy your games. That's the only reason. Instead of, and why not ask Microsoft, right? Why not ask Microsoft, why on earth, right, do I get controllers over fucking video games? Why do you have so many fucking controllers? Why don't you ask the more important questions instead of whataboutisms? What about that? Instead of you wondering what's going on with your pack, with your service, why don't you ask Microsoft via Twitter, where the fuck are our games? Why am I getting different color controllers? Why am I getting fucking furry ass control? Like, what? Where's the games? Because third party shouldn't count, and those indie games shouldn't count if you bought a Series X. What the fuck is those teraflops going to? Those teraflops going to a 2D fucking side scroller, an isometric fucking Zelda clone? Is that what it's going to? Like, you can't get mad at me for criticizing that bullshit. It's bullshit, and you know it is. But instead of them going to the source of the problem, right, they go directly to the opposition and complain about the shit that's wrong with the opposition for something that they will never, ever buy. They don't want to buy it. They don't. It's weird. When I did speak to that Xbox fan, he said that he wanted more over-the-shoulder games, and he also said that he wanted more superhero games. And we just found out that Microsoft turned both of them fucking things down to worry about their core games, which would be Halo, Gears, and Forza. That's what happened. So instead of them asking fucking Phil Spencer, where the fuck are iGames? You say PlayStation. How come there's sexual harassment cases in your board? PlayStation. How come I can't ask a PS? How come I can't use my PS3 store? What the fuck does that have to do with the price of tea in China? What does that have to do with any fucking thing about your platform? That shit's wild to me, man. Like these, like I keep seeing this. I'm gonna wrap up that conversation and go on to the next about the Jim Ryan's PC sellout, which is it's a tongue-in-cheek type title, right? Um, I keep seeing these things on social media about things that our PlayStation fans supposedly cares about. We supposedly care about games going to fucking PC. You know what I'm saying? We supposedly care about walking simulators. We supposedly care about for an open world Forza game. We supposedly care about games as a service. We supposedly care about, you know what I mean? What the opposition thinks about us at all. As a PlayStation fan, I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't give a fuck what you care about. I don't care what an Xbox thinks. I don't care what a journalist thinks. I'm just tired of these narratives keep popping up to tell me as a PlayStation fan what I should fucking care about. And the truth of the matter is, I don't give a fuck about these games going to PC. I can buy 3 of these fucking bitches tonight. 3 fucking, if they have it, a whole fucking $2,000, $3,000 computer. I could buy 3 of these bitches instantly and wouldn't even bat an eye. I don't want a game on PC. Period. I don't want it. Why don't I want it? It's a superior service there. I just want to turn on it. I just want to press a fucking button. And the shit makes a little jingle all the way, and the fucking game starts, or the console starts, and I get to scroll over and select it. I don't want to see fucking Windows. I don't want to see about Microsoft Teams. I don't want to see about fucking updates all over the place and McAfee. I don't want to see the fucking weather in the corner. I don't want to see any of that fucking bullshit. I just want to see my fucking games and what's going on in the gaming community. And that's it. I want all that shit filtered the fuck out. I don't want to open up another window. I don't want this raggedy ass desktop. I don't want any of that shit. Stop trying to tell me what the fuck I want. I don't want any of those things. I don't care about that shit. People talk about the emulation for the PlayStation is subpar. This is how you really do emulation. And you're going to fucking emulate a game that was fucking 10 years ago. Of course it's going to look fucking nice. That game code is so fucking old on the PlayStation 5. Those developers don't even fucking exist anymore. You couldn't even pay them if you wanted to. That's how fucked it is. And the game's code is just not optimized or whatever the case is. Well, you know, if you go on the PC, you could just download the emulator. I don't want to fucking download an emulator and have access to all these fucking viruses. I don't got time for that shit. I just lost the fucking computer last year because I went on the Wi-Fi of a hotel. A whole fucking computer was destroyed. I don't want any of that. I just want to turn it on, select my game, and be done. The bottom line is that I don't give a fuck about the narrative. And we're going to go straight on to the second topic, which is, apparently we should be worried about Jim Ryan releasing games, right? On PC. That's what we should be worried about. We should be absolutely worried about Jim Ryan, which is the, I guess, CEO of fucking PlayStation. I don't fucking know. I don't really care. You wanna know why I don't care? I don't give a fuck what that old ass dude is doing. I don't care what he's doing. Keep bringing me the fucking games. Keep bringing me the updates. Keep bringing me what the fuck I'm asking for, which part of it was the emulation of the PS1, 2, and now you added PSP, which I wasn't expecting. So great. Good on them. Make sure that PS3 is fucking working as well. And we're good. I'll continue to buy the fucking games in your console so long as you keep innovating in the space that you occupy in. That's what I care about. But I keep seeing weirdo shit, which I'm going to go into. If you're on YouTube, you can see the weirdo shit as well. What's going on, Lincoln? You can play my game I'm trying to get you to try me so you can play my game. Anyway, so let's go to the top, right? Here's the interesting thing that I'm seeing. People are really upset. They are upset about how much money they made on PC, and that's their way. This is now I'm attacking the PlayStation fanboys. They are upset about the money that Sony made and the copies that were sold for Horizon, God of War, and what do you call it? Days Gone. Oh, it didn't even crack 1,000,000. Guess what, Sony? You stupid. You so stupid because people stealing your games. If Sony says it's a success and they are going to continue to do it, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is a success for them? They deem it as a fucking success. Period. Point blank. Don't get fucking mad at them. I'm gonna tell you right now, people like me have no fucking problem buying the fucking PC. I mean, buying a PlayStation. Excuse me, and avoiding the whole PC scene. I don't give a fuck about PC. I just find it weird for the PlayStation fanboys, right? Because I don't like any fucking fanboys that are irrational. That shit don't make any fucking sense. But now that we're talking about it, we got the situation where people are laughing. This guy named Dean, which you can see on YouTube, massive success, my ass. It didn't even sell 1,000,000 copies. Who gives a fuck? They care. Xbox games on PC equals no exclusive. Bad PlayStation games on PC equals wow, a massive success. Better sales than any farming simulator. Okay. I'll say it again. And this is what this guy, he has some fucking sense in his head. And of course, Kotaku is putting this article out about, Sony going to PC or whatever the fuck they were saying. I'll say it again. Sony's main goal is to get PC only gamers to get a PS5 and game on it. They are probably measuring said success by how many new PS accounts are being created, not just the same ones on the PS4 era. There's a lot of ways of measuring success that's legitimate and that would keep a company, especially when they don't have fucking money coming out their butt cheeks. They need all the fucking money and strategy that they can get. So there's that. Oh God, Sony is going full Sega. Another person says, Flying Spaghetti Studios is what this guy says. I thought I was the only one that could potentially see Doom for PlayStation consoles if Sony continues down that path. Where's the fucking Doom? Did y'all guys see that fucking 80,000 sold in 8 minutes versus 8 weeks for the PS4? Y'all didn't see that shit? Where is the fucking problem? Where is it? Should be fucking crazy, yo. Should be fucking crazy. Yo, Reckon, I would like to get your opinion on this shit, yo. So I sent you a chat on there, or an invite here. So we got those group of people. Another thing. Journalists, when Microsoft announced Xbox games on the PC, Xbox has no exclusives. Microsoft is giving up on Xbox. Journalists equals throwing up, which I'm not sure what he's trying to say there. PC master race of console ports. You know what I'm saying? So for the people that have a console or a PC, and I can honestly say that the PlayStation or the PC fans, they're not interested really in this model, this type of game. They may be, depending on how much they really invest in it, but like as of now, they're not that interested in it. And even if Call of Duty is the most accessible fucking IP. You can get it on phones. You can get it on the consoles. You can get it on fucking tablets, and it still sells way better on a fucking console. Why? People prefer the input. That's what it is. Yeah, it sucks having everything on one platform. Also, I hate how paying for 99% of the software is purely optional. Okay. I despise this cheap, affordable hobby known as gaming. So PC gamers can illegally download and play all these games for free. Why do you care? Didn't you buy it on the PlayStation and played it and beat it? Yeah, did you download it again? Why do you care? Why do you care? Indeed. You know, you look at this shit and it's weird. Fatal, yo, what's going on? To be fair, Farming Simulation still like it does sound like hotcakes. So it's like a motherfucker, yo. Let me see if somebody either jumped in or requested. Haha. Nate, you finally got your phone to work. Finally. Lazy bitch. What's going on, bro?
Nothing much. I just want it to be known that these companies, these big corporations, they kind of have to sell on computer now. They have to sell on PC. A lot more
What?
people are buying PCs now. I mean, I like consoles. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong whatsoever. But the statistics show that more people are buying PCs overall. So I mean, that's where the money is. That's where they're gonna go.
So are you telling me that consoles are shrinking? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I don't know. I don't know that statistic. I just know that more people are buying PCs than they were buying consoles.
Let's take a look at the stats and I'll post it for you.
Yeah, that sounds good actually.
Let me see here. What else you got to say while I look for this shit? Google.
Not much. That was really the only thing I was thinking about.
See, the thing is that what's the difference between PC and console gaming? Can you tell me that?
Well, a PC, you have more customization. Like you can do your drivers, you can do your graphics, you have your NVIDIA control panel, you can fuck with basically anything that you want to on PC. With console, you're kind of restricted. Like if I was still on PlayStation 4, I'd still be playing Apex, and I wouldn't be able to change any of my graphics. Like on PC, my computer's great; it runs perfectly fine. I can run everything on ultra, but I like to play on the minimal settings so that my computer runs faster. You know, on PS4, PS5, you're kind of like limited. You're capped. You can't really do much after you download the game.
Okay. Well, you do realize that some people don't have no time for that shit, right? Nobody wants the drivers, and they want it to set it and forget it, essentially.
Yeah, and it's definitely annoying because every time I reset my PC, I have to go back, redo my updates, check everything, make sure everything's running fine, download all my shit. But I mean, once you get that down, most people don't do it, but you could just make a mirror image and just upload it to your external hard drive. So if you want to reset your computer to have nothing on it, you could just do that again, or just have like the basic downloads. Like I know it's time consuming, but I think it's more convenient.
Once you're done everything, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying. So I have never been. I've
but
never
but
really hated that. Yeah, go on.
I do have some issues sometimes where like I'll get a random bug that I haven't seen before, and my computer won't read the internet correctly, so I won't be able to like access Discord, or I won't be able to get on multiplayer games. That only happened to me once, but weird shit like that happens sometimes on PC, and sometimes you have to troubleshoot it, and that could have been a day where you were just like hanging out and you just want to play video games, but now you got to deal with this. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Like I do like console.
Yeah.
You can hop on the console, boom, my game's right there. I'm gonna play it, and we're good. We're golden. We're off to the races. You don't have to download this or that or do this or go into the settings and turn your graphics down or turn them up, or you know what I mean. So I like the convenience of console, but I also like how free you are with a PC.
Okay. Well, I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. But don't. And I'm looking at it here too. So just to let you know that consoles are growing too.
What consoles though? Is it like Nintendo?
The con it's all three.
Which one's really? Which one's
It's
selling
all
the most though?
we say.
Which one is selling the most though?
So here's the statistics that Microsoft or PlayStation gave Sony. It took about 8 weeks for Sony. What was it? I'll I'll see it here. Hold on. I'll get to know. Let me see. PlayStation 5 sells in 8 hours.
I mean, realistically, in a really nice world, it'd be cool if these companies had some sort of like democratic system where we could vote on shit. So, like, if they
I
were
have the
planning to
answer.
implement
I
something,
have the answer to your question.
Who
This
was
is
that?
Eddie.
Yo, you came in. What's
What's up,
going
man?
on?
Hey, I'm actually at work right now, so I'm gonna just briefly share the uh, information for you. So, PS5's unprecedented demand. November of 2021 is 55% express interest in the PS5. In 2014, on the PS4, it was at 28% express interest in the PS4. So, to give you a breakdown, a sell through time of 80,000 uh, units. So, PS4 was at 80,000 units in 9 days. So, in terms, that's six per minute. And the PS5 is at 80,000 units in 82 minutes.
oh wow!
So
No,
nearly
isn't that's a
1,000
lot of
units per
scalpers
minute.
though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's they say it's gonna sell close to 300 million units at the lifetime. That's what my
So here's a
that's what Microsoft has done with the console space. Like they're getting out of it. I can see them getting out of it.
so just to kind of add on to what you were saying, 91. Um, and for Nate, scalpers are selling the PlayStation 5s. That's the thing. So let's say that
Yeah,
somebody
that's a
is
good
buying
point.
the place. Say again.
That's a good point.
Let's say that I want to hammer home the situation. Let's say that Sony or scalpers are buying that shit for $800, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason why they're keeping it at 800 and 900 is because somebody keeps buying it and using it. If that wasn't the case, then the scalpers would stop scalping because they weren't getting any money. And it slows down and speeds up. It slows down again. That's for sure, for sure. But the numbers that they have is that people are buying it, and one of the reasons why they're buying it is the fucking content, which is what I wanted to kind of talk about.
Yeah, I just got a PS5. Um,
How you like it so far?
oh
What's
wow,
your what's your pros and cons?
man, I love the controller. I like the user face. It's just that sound, like the main menu where it makes the sound. And I didn't know it had Apple Music on there, so I bought a bunch of games. I got God of War, got Ratchet and Clank Ripped Apart, I bought Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West, um, Spider Man Remaster. I also bought Days Gone, Kenneth Bridge. Uh,
What
let me
what
see.
don't you what don't you like about the PlayStation 5?
Compared to the 360 to the Xbox, I have a Series X. So I got both now. So the only content. Man, that's a good question. I wish. I don't understand why they didn't implement Dolby Vision in their gaming. That's my only
I think
drawback.
I think Dolby Vision is there's licensing issues, if anything. So it's kind of like how Xbox weren't allowed to use like YouTube for a while,
Or Dolby
because
Atmos.
yeah. So that's a fair point. So I want to ask you this too, and Nate too. Um, the conversation that we're talking about now is Sony moving more and more to PC, right? And I feel like people don't understand what that means exactly. Like I feel like when Sony says that they're going to do something, for some reason people are literally obtuse about his statements. So how do you feel about the PlayStation games going to PC?
I'm all for it
Why?
because think about this. You remember when Phil Spencer said he wants to reach three? I think it was like 3 billion gamers worldwide. So here's the
Crazy
plus
number,
side
yeah.
for it. So here's where PlayStation can win. Jim Ryan has been paying attention to Phil Spencer for Xbox One generation, seeing how what mishaps they've been having. PlayStation has the content, and they know people who've never had a PlayStation or played any PlayStation games. When they buy it on PC, they're going to pay for it because they know what quality of content they're getting out of PlayStation. And here's another thing that could put the nail in the coffin for Xbox is Sony's known, uh, Sony's revered worldwide for their single player games, story narrative telling, uh, best visuals you can uh, expect from Sony. So Jim Ryan had a discussion, a conference call, and he said, "You know what? We're going to look into the multiplayer aspect. So your first person shooters, okay? Sony's going to do that." And knowing me playing God of War, right?
Y'all pay
And
attention
Horizon
to this dude. Pay attention to this dude, y'all. Yeah. And hit the like button too, so people can see this.
So I've been paying attention, man. I've been looking at Microsoft and Xbox. I'm not gonna make that mistake this generation because I mean they never really. The only game I can think of they that took full advantage of the hardware was Turn 10 Studios Forza Motorsport, and that's just about it. In this generation, I can only name probably three. Actually, Gears of War, Motorsport was the only games that took advantage of the console, the hardware, and that's just about it. Two games. On the other hand, PlayStation, they have world class developers: Insomniac, Naughty Dog, Sony Santa Monica, um, Housemark. Oh my gosh.
There's about 20 of them. So, but the thing is, though, 91, like,
Sucker Punch.
why aren't you bothered by the fact that it's going to PC?
I mean, I know it's exclusive, but here's the thing. The reason I'm not bothered because the way that game plays on PC, it wasn't designed for PC. So
So you're
they're not
saying it's a
gonna.
half effort?
No, it's not going to be designed for PC because when they design their games, their first party studio, they strictly design their games for the hardware and tech under the PS5 and PS4.
And what does that mean exactly? That's
I
kind of
mean,
like that's a generalized.
it was what it means is it's not you're not going to get the full visual, uh, the benefits of the full benefits of a PS4 because the SSD on a PS5 this generation is
No, no, no.
far more.
I'm talking about PlayStation games putting or Sony putting their games on PC. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that I think the reason why Jim Ryan wants to do it is because he wants to reach he wants to be competitive. So he sees what Phil Spencer is doing, and I think he wants to send a message to Microsoft. Say, hey, you guys, because at the end of the day, both of them don't like each other. Both. Sony wants to set an example. I think what they want to do is Sony has never. Um, um, don't underestimate Sony because what I see what they're doing is they want to reach a larger audience than console. Because I mean, look at the lifetime sales of PS4. It's already
No, I
hundred.
get that, but you don't. What I'm trying to understand is why don't you care that they're putting the game on PC? Because that's a big problem with PlayStation fans.
I'm excited for it. As a PC player,
I,
like I can't get God of War. At least I don't think I can right now. But I know it's an amazing game, and I'd be more than happy to spend money to play it again. I thought it was amazing. I mean, they have so many other games that could come over to PC that I'd probably buy. Like he had said, Gears of War. Isn't that an Xbox exclusive? They switched over to PC. I bought that game as soon as it came out.
So would it devalue the PlayStation or the console itself by putting things on PC? I guess that's the age old question.
Probably.
No, it won't. It won't. No.
You don't think so?
Sony won't do that. Sony knows they are the. Think about this. You are the market leader in gaming. Okay, you have a momentum worldwide. People love your games, storytelling, the single player, and I don't think Sony wants to, go backwards. I don't think they're going backwards.
So let York go. Yorkshire Farm.
Easy, man.
What's going on, man?
The way I see it, right, is why would anyone be upset about any game going to PC when at the end of the day that means more money going into Sony's pocket?
Why would they even care about the money going into Sony's pocket
No,
if they're consumers?
that's my point, right? If all these people are complaining about a game going to PC and how they don't like it, then that's the kind of mentality I don't understand, because at the end of the day, that's more money going into Sony's pocket, which means more money going into game investments, which means better games, better products, so on and so forth. So it literally makes no sense to me. It doesn't devalue the game. It doesn't devalue Sony. If anything, it just expands the target audience.
Then why
that only works if if they're putting money back into gaming development.
That's what they said they are. So until proven otherwise, then yeah. But why buy PS5 if the games are going to PC?
Because regardless of them going to PC, God of War, it took 5 years to get to PC.
Well, I don't think that's going to be the time frame.
Yeah,
it may go day and date.
The time frame is very likely going to get shorter, but again, it's the evolutionary chain of the company. It's the way that it's going to go, whether the fans like it or not. It's the future of gaming, to do everything on multiple platforms. It's just the way the world's going to go.
I have a question. I have a question, guys. I have one question. Okay, we understand PlayStation fanboys. I'm not a fanboy. The only reason why I got a PS5, I got a console PS5, was because I had no games. The card games have been delayed. I'm looking at, okay, I bought my console in 2020. I had no first party exclusive. I saw the showcase of Halo. The game looks terrible. Then I hear this news about the initiative and the mismanagement. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna make the same mistakes. I'm like, I'm just gonna leave my console. I mean, I'm still have my Series X. I'm not gonna sell it. But keep in mind, Sony. When you look, okay, let's ask you guys this: how many Game Awards or nominations has Microsoft had throughout its generation?
I don't want to do that because people are going to say that it's all subjective. I never like saying that shit because,
I know it's subjective, but keep in mind, I'm not blind. Look, here's the thing. What are? Can you list off Microsoft's IPs that get people to buy their console? What is it? Halo, right?
Halo and Gears. Not even Forza would do that.
Okay, that's 3 IPs. Well, what else?
That's it.
That's it. Okay. Sony that's 4 times the amount, and then you have 343, which bought Halo Infinite. When I'm looking at that graphical, that game's not graphical showcase. Okay. The reason why I got PS5, I'm just letting you guys know this, is Microsoft is in trouble this generation. I promise you this. This is a fair warning. If people take this the wrong way, this is just a warning. Phil Spencer will probably get terminated from Satya Nadella, because what he has done is he has pretty much damaged developers' interest in Game Pass. If you have 25 million subscribers on your service, if you look in the math, Your servers came out in 2017, 2016, or 2014, something, whatever year. We're already, almost 7 years now?
2017.
2017. So more than 7
Mhm.
years now into this. And you only have 25 million? I think,
I think. Let me say this, and I want to let Cloak go because he's been waiting. I want to say this. I think that Sati is really waiting for Xbox to basically, or Phil Spencer to finish his plans, and he's going to can him. He just wants
say
to.
that again?
I say I feel like Sati is waiting for Phil Spencer to complete the plan that he said he was going to do,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to can him. He
Yeah.
just wants to basically. He don't want to have any loose ends. He wants to understand what's going on, and he's going to get rid of him. He's going to pass it on to somebody else, and then to keep it moving. Cloaked, what's going on, bro?
Nothing much. Just putting my PC back together.
Mm, 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 mm.
Yeah, I'm putting my 3090 Ti in, and I had to drain the entire loop. It's been a day.
You see, Nate, console people ain't ready for this shit. You know, what I mean, you got to be a special person to be doing all this shit.
You know what though? It builds character. All right, you learn how to work on your computer and you fix it yourself. All right.
So does learning how to cook, but you know, most
Yeah, you're right.
people don't know how to cook. But so, what is your take on all of this? Sony moving more, putting their IPs onto PC.
I'm excited. Like I said before, dude, I'm a gamer. All right. If I got more games to play, I got more money to spend. All right. I'll dish out cash. I don't care. As long as the game's good. I play Destiny, bro. I had to spend $100 last week to buy all of the packs to play the game. I bought it because I know it's a really good game. They put a lot of work into it, you know. I don't mind spending money on good games, so I'm excited for it.
And let me ask you this, Nathaniel. Did you buy Halo Infinite? You have a Series X?
No, I actually got it on Game Pass for free.
Okay. But do you see the problem? That game is not good in terms of gameplay. The reason why I'm saying this because
It was free. I thought it was fun.
You can't say that it's not good because again,
Yeah,
it's
I
all
thought it was fun.
subjective.
Yeah, I know, but people not buying it.
You can't
Because people aren't playing it anymore because they
you can
flopped.
get
They
it
should
for
have added
$1.
Battle Royale. They should have
I know.
added more game modes. They should have done way more for that game. It was a great game. They just
People
didn't
will.
fucking fast enough.
Okay, the problem is this is what happens. If a developer doesn't make a good game, the consumer will not buy it. It's anything, any product.
That's not always true. There's a little bit of luck that's to it. I want to ask you this, Cloak, since you're mostly on PC. We were going to have this conversation before, and I can't remember what the fuck it was. I should have wrote it down somewhere. And the other guy, Ron, I believe, he didn't show up or DM me, so that's cool. Either way,
Yeah, I remember. Like what was the like time equals money? That whole thing.
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So it was after I thought about that argument, it was more of like I was justifying console purchases, but I mean at the same time that does make it does make sense that you want to justify someone's purchase. But basically, to be on topic, about PlayStation games coming to PC, I'm for it.
Does it devalue the PlayStation? I'm gonna ask Yorkshire too. Does
Does it devalue it? I would say no, because
why?
there is no, because like with some PC, like with there's just some people out there that just want the peace of mind. They just want to plug in a console, push a button, and then it starts up. But unlike us PC guys, to where we have to build our PC and then upgrade it because we like fast PCs, like people who like fast cars, um, it can take a while. It can take a long while.
There's levels of enthusiasts for sure, and
Yeah.
PC gamers are definitely in the upper echelon of enthusiasts. Yorkshire, wanted to ask you this: you were saying that it doesn't do anything; it goes back into the pot. The money is reinvested into IPs. Could you elaborate on that?
Well, if you think of it like the game industry, if you think of it like the movie industry, mate, every bit of profit they make from an IP goes back into that studio, or at least the vast majority of that profit goes back into the studio, which means they can then work on either a sequel, new IP, new innovations in the technology that they're using, whatever it is. At the end of the day, every bit of money that is made from selling games on console and PC, it all goes back into the gaming industry, which it equates to better games, better performance, better quality all round. So I don't understand the problem people have with games going to PC.
Well, I could tell you what the problem is. People don't want to actually admit to it because it's a deeper issue. 91, yo. Wanted to ask you, would you be getting a PC to put your PlayStation exclusives on it once it becomes cross purchase, cross buy?
No,
Why?
because I like to have both consoles. So I only buy my PlayStation. See, I'm smart. I bought my PS5 for exclusives, like PlayStation exclusives, like the first party studios.
But you could buy it on PC though.
I know, but
They
You
will
get
work.
both.
They'll
I
work better
never,
for the main
I
hardware.
haven't bought anything on PC. So I'll continue buying my PS5 exclusives on PS5. And keep in mind, those games are not going to come out day and date. My
How
PlayStation
do
can't
you
do that.
are you sure it's not going to come out day and date?
No,
You don't think it's going to come out day and date?
on PC,
Mm. Yep. Yep.
mm, I could be wrong. I,
If they do, in the event that they do come out day and date, it would make logical sense to just basically build a PC.
PC is expensive. I mean,
Hmm.
to have a me person, I'm a console guy because I don't want to shell out thousands and thousands of dollars on a PC and build. I'm lazy.
You don't need that much.
I just want to turn on my console. Like I'm not throwing shades at PC people, gamers. I just like to, you know, just turn on my console and just don't have to build it. Just go. I mean, PlayStation hardware is always going to be there. They're always going to continue to innovate. And keep in mind, people forget this. PlayStation has pushed innovation forward. Microsoft has pro software, so some of the stuff they implement on their console, like Game Pass, that's a great innovation, like a subscription service. But the vast majority of people are not going to follow suit on a subscription-based service. It's just people who play on PlayStation. Um, I'll tell you what. I take that back. I would say PlayStation Plus. It's a plus for the consumer because what they implemented on as far as a PC is where you can do a trial. I think it's like 5 hours or more on a
It's
first party
two. To,
exclusive.
I think it's 2 to 5 hours, depending on what game it is.
Yeah,
Horizon is a very long game, and so is Cyberpunk, which they
yeah.
both get 5 hours. So before you go on, Pablo says people aren't going to migrate to PC because the games go over. Only hardcore people or people who want more performance out of the PlayStation games. The typical Joe is still going to go into the store and buy a console because of the simplicity. You absolutely hit the nail on the head.
That's
I
correct.
want people. I want people to understand this, and I don't understand. And this is what I was saying before about the false narratives. I was mentioning that shit earlier by people that are suffering from their own issues, which would be the Xbox fans that don't have games. They want to make a problem somewhere else instead of going to the root of the problem, which to me doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I think I said this in a couple other podcasts. When you are so intrinsically braided into your style or what you like, even criticizing that thing, right? Even criticizing it hurts you because you're so entangled with what you like. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like these simps out here, right? That say that every single behavior of a woman is perfect because they can't break free from that entanglement that they got going on. They can't address something directly and say, listen, this is a problem. Right here, this is a problem. They can't say it because it hurts them, because they associate that console, that thing, to themselves. And that means that if I have to call out its flaws, that means it's calling out my flaws as well. It's all psychological bullshit that goes along
Hey,
with
Game
this for
Pass. I
sure. Yeah.
want to ask. So I like Game Pass, but I'm not the one that's going to. You can't fool me. Like, I'm pretty educated, when it comes to gaming. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a casual gamer. You're not going to get me to subscribe uh, a year of Game
They don't
Pass
have
and
anything in
and
there.
not. Hmm?
It ain't anything. It's nothing in there,
I know
really.
it's all indie. Like Phil Spencer, he's not going to get me or fool me. You can't fool PlayStation gamers or Nintendo gamers. Like, people like to buy their games. Like, you have to give me a reason why to buy a game. Like, I'm not going to just subscribe to a subscription service. Like, you have to give me content. Like, for example, Disney Plus. Okay, they have great content.
They
That's
have to
something that,
keep. They have to keep up with it. They
yeah,
Netflix too
still,
with Stranger
yeah.
Things. They
You
have
have the
to
new
keep up
Star
with the
Wars.
concept.
You have content is king. Content on a subscription service, you have to be king. And you delaying Starfield and people are paying subscription. Like, I like to own my games. Like, if I know a game is good, if you demonstrate a game that's really good, like God of War, like I should have bought a PlayStation 4 back then, but I don't know what was happening. I saw the light. But to answer your question, the thing about me is I like buying games. Okay, like I'll buy um, like Hellblade 2. That day one, I'm going to buy that game because I know the developer is going to take full advantage of the tech on the console, on the Series X. I'll buy Forza Motorsport. That's a great talented team that Microsoft has. Um, Whatever the initiative does on Perfect Dark, they got Dale Gallagher, the guy who rebooted Tomb Raider. Um, I'm probably going to buy that game, but for me
There's
to
something.
for
There's
me to
some.
subscribe to a subscription, like this people, I remember this guy Uni Sensei. I remember I went on
Uh,
his space. He was crying and he was complaining about, like, man, I just paid a full year of damn Game Pass. Now I get these two games delayed. I was like, I mean, that's your fault. Like, I haven't subscribed to Game Pass since
that's the beauty of
February.
it. You don't have to subscribe to it, right?
Yeah.
If
Hmm.
there's no content.
Yeah,
I wanted to
you
watch.
just
I
gotta use
wanted to
your head,
watch
use your
the.
common sense. So
I,
just use your common sense. I just ask people, just, man, just be careful, because
I wanted to
if you shell
watch.
out if you shell out $180, that's $180 on a subscription service. Did you know that?
You better be. You
You could
better
have bought
be
three games,
absolutely. Yep, and
three
be
games from
yours.
PlayStation: God of Horizon Forbidden West, Ghost of Tsushima. That's not even 100. That's not even $180. You can probably buy four games from PlayStation. Four
See,
games.
but here's the thing though. I wanted to watch the Dave Chappelle special, right?
Hmm.
I didn't want to purchase for $15 for that whole shit. I bought the cheapest one for that month, and I was like, I'll stay there for the rest of the fucking month, but I'm not going to continue on paying the rest of the fucking year. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know why these guys feel obligated to continue to put money into it. And I guess that's what Yorkshire. I guess that's why people have this issue, right?
Well, it's because a vast majority of this new generation of Xbox gamers, or people who are just migrating to Microsoft's ecosystem, this gen, have been
But
conditioned
these guys are not
to not
new.
buy games.
These are not new. These are not new guys. These people have been there, and they feel, and I guess that's the problem. That's the fear that Sony going to PC. This is what's going to happen. Because I feel like there's some rationality with people that are worried about Jim Ryan putting games on PC. They think that it's going to go exclusively to PC, or the money is going to get burnt, and no one's going to see the results of it. Because that's the same thing that has happened with Game Pass. It didn't fuel over the course of, what is it, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, over the 5 years that they had Game Pass. It
I
didn't
know,
help
but
with any of the fucking games.
I think it has.
So, but hold on, wait, hold
Again,
on, I'm not finished. Hold on, hold on. So, what I was going to say about that, right? Because I was going to go to what Cloak was saying too about time is also. I said this before. Time is also a currency.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I see is going on with the PlayStation and what they're doing, right? He was very specific on what he's going to do. There are specific games that works really well with PC. Something like Horizon or any kind of open world game works. The Assassin's Creed games really, really work. You know what I'm saying? There are some free to play models or games as a service that works really well too, because you're not paying an online subscription service either. So what I think that they're going to do, and if you look at Horizon Forbidden West, I keep saying this, the way that the game is structured, it is structured as a loot system. It is structured in such a way where you have to grind for certain things. To me, that is indicative of some sort of multiplayer that's going to be added. They have the assets, which is the game environments and the machines, to make an open world Monster Hunter type game that they can do free to play. You can customize your characters and blah, 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 blah. Right? You have all that shit there. And they can release games like that day and date on there. They know that their bread and butter is definitely the consoles. And there's a certain threshold because the consoles are going to have the console players typically have a richer taste in game, not a better taste, but they like more things. They are willing to venture out and play weird little things and quirky things. And a lot of Japanese games do well on consoles across the board because that's how console people roll. And it's more accessible because you don't have to pay $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 for a console or for a computer. You know, you could just buy the $400 or $500 for the console. But in terms of being afraid of the games being day and date, it doesn't have any impact because you'll never get rid of a console player. You never get rid of them because there are console players that don't want to do all that shit. What Cloaked is doing right now, I know a lot of people that don't want to do what the fuck he's doing. Period.
If I could turn on my camera and you can see this, you would. The console guys would probably throw a bitch fit because I had to take out all the plumbing from my water water reservoir. I had the radiator. My graphics card has a water block on it that I almost leaked everywhere. There's a huge rat's nest of wires I have to get all nice and neat and put everything back together and create no bulges. And make sure that there is not anything shorting so I don't get electrical fire.
Headache. That's a
so
hassle.
people, you know what the funny thing is? People will sit there and they will say, "Oh, that's an outlier," and it is. But there's other issues with gaming on PCs, of the different configurations and stuff that you have to kind of keep. There's little things that accumulate to stuff that people don't want to fucking deal with across the board. You know what I'm saying?
And let me say this. So don't forget, I don't these Xbots, whatever they are, they need to know their place. They need to just keep quiet. Like me as a gamer, like, to be honest with you, PlayStation, if Xbox need to have some common sense, they need to just shut their mouth. And I'm not a fanboy on either side. Who's doing better games, storytelling, and gameplay is Sony. Sony's dominating that aspect in single player. So what Jim Ryan said, you know what? We've been focusing too much on single player games. You know, we're gonna mix it up. We're gonna give our players variety. We're gonna give the gaming world a variety of ways. So we know what we're gonna do multiplayer games. And then they bought Bungie, bro. Bungie makes the best multiplayer game. These are the creators of Halo. they own Bungie. Keep that. Don't forget that. Like, These Xbots need to keep their mouth shut and know who makes better
They
multiplayer
what
games.
they what
Destiny.
what they need to do is really focus on their own platform and wonder why they don't have the games. Pablo
Yeah.
says this too, and Conrad says this as well. He says, "Dude, well, this is Pablo speaking. This is on YouTube, by the way. Dudes on Twitter think they're the only gamers on the planet. Lots of casual people buy consoles and don't even know PC gaming is a thing. And this is a PC gamer. This is Fatal Charade. The only reason why I see people going from PlayStation to PC is that a lot of PlayStation 5 are in scalper warehouses being sold for $800. Now, even if you can say that that's absolutely true, somebody's buying that bitch because it reflects the amount of sales for the games. Even if though, right? Those $800 PlayStations are still being sold. And even though they can buy a nice little prefab computer, they still opt for the console because it's just simpler. And I'm going to go into that in just a little bit. I'm going to ask Yorkshire if you're still in there a question. Um, Fatal Charade says he almost strictly games on the PC and he doesn't even want to do the shit that Cloak is doing. Now he says also, I thought most of the original Halo 1 through 3 team now works for 343 Studios. Who knows, man? I mean, the reason why Sony purchased Bungie is because of their knowledge on making live service games. Also, Pablo says, yeah,
Talent. It's
probably help a
talent.
bit being on PC. Now, so here's the thing, and you can like the game. Like for me, I don't think that I don't that game isn't for me, but they have so much expertise. They have a lot of expertise in terms of those type of games. Now, here's what I say, and I wanted to ask your Shire, what does he think about this? I keep saying this, and I feel like it just falls upon deaf ears, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Every device that games has their own particular demographic, and the type of game that sells well on these platforms is catering to that input method, such as you have touchscreen shit. A lot of games that are touchscreen shit that's on phones, they do gangbuster. You can't make like a Call of Duty doesn't do that greatly unless you have all these apparatus, and that kind of that hinders the amount of people that can play it. But for the games that are exclusively for touch and stuff like that, it sells well. For keyboard and mouse type situations, those Diablo type of games, those Dota games, they so awesome for the PC because it's just easy to use. Adventure games or games where you can control your character, they sell well on the piece or the place or on the consoles because the control mechanism just works well for that. Yorkshire, what do you have to say about that?
I don't think you can take controllers into a demographic considering like
You could do it
how.
on PC.
No, I know that. I mean, basically, what I mean is the way that gaming's gone over the last couple of years. I mean, 10 years ago, you either had one console, or you had the other, or you had a handheld, or you were a mobile gamer. Now people are more stretched across the entirety of these gaming platforms. So, for example, like one of the best Call of Duty games was Call of Duty Online, and it was solely dedicated to Japan, I believe, and you were able to play it on mobile. And then they cancelled it. Yeah, I don't know why they cancelled it. I didn't look into it or all that. But that's my point. That game was better than the majority of the COD games that have come out over the last 5 years, and it was playable on mobile, tablet, and PlayStation and PC. So the controlling aspect of it's not an argument because everyone's like transmutated to every kind of device now. I mean, you've got people who used to call a Switch a children's toy, who are dedicated to Switch. You've got people who invest in the Steam Decks. You've got people who invest in PS5s and all this lot. So it all comes down to the accessibility of the game. If you can get a game to fit every single platform, do it. You're going to get money for it regardless, and then that money, as I keep saying, gets put back into the bloody business. You know,
But
so
would you agree that there are certain games that fit a particular platform better and that
I would,
thrives
yeah,
on
I would, yeah.
on
For
the
example,
platform better?
for example, like, you know, I wouldn't really see Animal Crossing being played on a PS5. You know, So I can agree to some extent, but again, it's one of them. Like the apparently there's a new Nintendo Switch coming out soon. Again, I'm not too sure on the 100% facts of that, but it's meant to be like a PlayStation. It's got PlayStation 3's power, so you can start optimizing more games and get them out there and get them more spread out and more access to them. As long as they've got this accessibility and they keep optimizing it for what they want to put it on, it's going to be all right. Like I keep saying, it's just the way that the gaming industry is going. There's nothing we can do about it. We're just the fans. We have to lump it and accept it. But these businesses, these big multi-billion corporations, they'll do what they want. If they see an avenue that's going to rake in them money, they're going to take it. They don't care about the fans. They don't care about anything else. All they care about is their wallets. And this goes back to my point, is why I don't get why people are so upset about PlayStation games going to PC. It's going to happen eventually. It's going to happen day and date eventually. Not anytime soon, I don't think, but it is going to happen.
I don't even think that using that disclaimer is even that's like giving people hope for no reason. There are going to be some games that will go day and date. Just understand that. And this year, if The Last of Us Factions 2 comes out, or if The Last of Us fucking Part 1 remake comes out, that shit is the faction is definitely going to be day and date. But for the remake, give it about a month or two, and it's going to go to PC. They already showed you what they are expecting from it. Like, I see people really trying to. They're in like the what is it? The four stages of grief or something, 5 stage, whatever the fuck the griefs are.
7 stages of grief.
The 7 stages of grief, yo. It's like, oh, why is Sony doing this? I don't know why your shit can't fetch the spaces. That's stupid. Restart it. But it's funny when I see shit like this. It's like, oh, guess what, Sony? You're stupid because guess what? Your games are getting stolen. They say it's a success. You can't argue with them. They think it is. And to be honest with you, as a platform holder, as a company that is looking for money, they want to be fucking everywhere. Nintendo will eventually do this shit too. Period.
And the only reason the Xbots have that argument, mate, is because they're terrified that Sony is going to end up copying what Microsoft are doing, just better.
And that would be their demise. That would be the end. Because if
Sony... I mean, I'm still waiting for Sony to announce the Ragnarok release date to be the day that Starfield was meant to be released, just for that ultimate kicker to Microsoft. It'd be fucking hilarious.
That would be so. That would be so. That's so petty if that's the case. And I don't want Microsoft to.
You can't deny.
It'd be great. It would be absolute glory. It will be because, bro, that's like
PlayStation. Gamecast. Let me ask you: if PlayStation starts to pump out blockbuster multiplayer games,
that's what they're planning on doing. They're going to take the ideologies of what made their games, the quality, what made their games popular in the first place, and inject that shit into games as a service. Because to be honest with you, they're going to get their money regardless, right? All they need is a good, 100,000 people to consistently play their games. That's the number. And it could be free, and you could just sit there and buy fucking, fucking skins. And it will make a fucking game. That's what Jim Ryan said in their Q&A. Eddie, what you gotta say about this shit?
Eddie, y'all are spitting facts. I'm here. Y'all are spitting facts. I'm just enjoying the show. No, I don't really have a problem personally with PlayStation going to PC. And on top of it too, like when it comes to multiplayer, right? We're all like fascinated for the most part that PlayStation needs a good FPS, right? And right now, even with like the deal with Call of Duty, which is dropping like this, I still find it funny that PlayStation's getting the beta first for the next Call of Duty, and when it comes out to that, Microsoft will have them, which is what, at the end of 2023, 2024, right?
I believe so.
Like, what's Deviation working on, right? Call of Duty will literally be like not even that important to the point where these the franchises that PlayStation has and whatever they're working on for their FPS, and even stated by the old Treyarch guy, saying like, when you see our next trailer or you see our video game, just know that it's not going to be like a slouch like Call of Duty. Essentially, that it's going to set a precedence to the FPS stage, which is going to be a PlayStation franchise. So, I mean, from open world to story driven to, I don't know about you, but if Last of Us, or when Last of Us Factions does drop and it is on PC, we're going to want the player base, right, to play these games. Not to say like PlayStation players, right, myself included, won't be on there, but the more people that you have will definitely flesh out that title. So, I think the next title that we'll probably see on PC that's coming from the PlayStation franchise will probably either be Returnal or Ghost of Tsushima, which is just going to even enhance like Legends, right? Because we're going to have more people to play with. And with Returnal, playing with people on PC, with the multiplayer side of things. So it's just the win. And it just guarantees more income coming back to PlayStation to filter in for better first-person experiences, right? Single-player narrative experiences. So it's just a win. I don't have an issue with it at all.
People seem to do this, right? They seem to create these really crazy scenarios where in an alternate universe that Sony is going to literally just burn all their goodwill and take all that fucking money and just do games as a service. There's no proof of them doing it, but they claim that that's what's going on behind the scenes, which is ridiculous. If Sony was known to had a history of this kind of shit, then you could worry about that. You know what I mean? Then you can have a concern. Fine. But the concern here, the only thing you got is releasing the PS3 at $600, which the entire console was like $800 and something dollars, and they were selling it at a loss. That was about as good as it gets. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna tell you this, going on to Nintendo. If Nintendo didn't sell like 20 to 30 million units for their games, like if this was a failure, like the Switch, them motherfuckers would have been on PC and cell phones. Absolutely. With Sony, if you look at the Q&A and you look at all the slides and all the fiscal shit, you could see that most of their shit is coming from mobile games. You know what I'm saying? It's mobile games and it's PC games, but most that slice is like 70% fucking mobile and 30% fucking consoles or PC. They already know that they got guaranteed money for the consoles. You know what I'm saying? You know, consoles are going to play a certain game. That's just what it is. You can't fight that. They want AAA graphic blockbuster games. They keep buying them shits. So long as it's good enough, you know what I'm saying? What's going on, Ultra? If they get the console players are going to want those blockbuster games. They want to have reason why they purchased a console for $400 or $500, and they want to have the stress free. They just want to turn the bitch on and keep it moving, not have to adjust a water cooler, you know, or liquid metal or anything of that fucking nature. They just want this shit to work and be done with it. You know what I'm saying? The PC is definitely for enthusiasts, but people that are concerned about PlayStation abandoning a console, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just fucking fodder online, and they just want to have an argument to say that we're better than PC because you don't got any games. We're better than fucking Xbox because you don't got any games. We're better than Nintendo because your games are fucking low budget kiddie games. Who knows what the fuck it is? But I feel like some of the argument, which is located in the spaces, is tagged in there, some of the retweets and stuff like that. People are really in their feelings about Sony going to make PlayStation games or make PC games. They're like really in their feelings, and it's unnatural to me that they feel this kind of way. They honestly feel like, I don't like this. Like they're nervous about the shit going that way. It's weird to me. Just know that they know not that the reason why they are popular is because of these story-driven games, and these story-driven games need to happen because it helps out the Sony Pictures aspect. Like I don't know about like getting into this before we close out. I want to close out here.
There's one thing I wanted to tell you. It's the nervousness about PlayStation games going to PC. That is understandable. I totally understand that because I felt that way too with Destiny 2. When Destiny 2 enabled cross save in 2019 for Shadowkeep, I knew for a fact that a lot of people I was on Xbox at the time. I knew for a fact that there was going to be a lot of people that would actually migrate from Xbox to PC. And then I do a lot of raids. So I knew for a fact that once cross save comes out, I'm going to try to do a raid, and I'm just going to get all these noobs. Everyone who's going to be like the good raiders is going to go to PC. Now that's game specific. So that's why I was like, okay, I got to get a PC, or I'm not going to be able to do raids in the amount of time I can, or like at the best of my ability. I'm going to have to pull these guys along, and I just don't have the time to do that. But as like
how did it pan out?
My gamble paid off. There was a lot of people, and not to mention with the PC community, a lot of guys were on PC through BattleNet back in the day, and then that was swapped to Steam during that time period. So there was a lot of people coming from BattleNet to Steam, and then there was a lot more people within the ecosystem. Now, cross play was not a thing. That didn't happen until Beyond Light of I think that was 2020. No, 2021. I can't remember. I think it was 2021. But yeah, that was my scenario with being worried about a game going to PC or basically going to Steam.
But the thing is, a lot of these games are single player. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they don't even have that situation. I guess they just feel like Sony's going to stop making the games, which could be a reality. But Sony's going to stop making the games. But here's the thing: Sony's been down this road before. If you don't have good games, they're not going to sell.
Well, that's
That's what 91 was saying.
I remember doing research, and I don't know if anyone can fact check this because I can't really remember correctly. But when PlayStation Online came out for the PS2, I think that you could actually connect to PC players, or no, you can. Yeah, I think you could connect to PC players that had the same game on PC at the time, but I don't remember what games.
I think it was the Final Fantasy 12 or something like that.
I think it might have been 12
or 11. I think it was 11. I think it was Final Fantasy 11.
That was one game, and so was. Sorry, not to cut you off. That was one game, and so was. Oh my God! Hold on, I lost it. Come on now with the robot. Portal 2. Sorry, that was another game that you could connect with. Yep.
No, so he's talking about PS2, not PS3.
Oh my bad.
Yeah, I think it was I thought it was a Resident Evil Outbreak, File 1 and 2. But I'm pretty sure it was File 2.
I think it was also Final Fantasy 11.
Yeah.
You needed a hard drive for that game to work, and it was crossplay with the PC.
Yeah, back in the day. And if like PlayStation, and I don't know if I think they stopped doing that for the PlayStation 3, and then that was when Vista came out, and nobody liked Vista.
You know why? You know why it stopped?
I do not know why. Something about like pirating or something like that? Burnt games?
No. The developers wanted you to double dip.
Oh.
They wanted you to buy. They didn't want you to buy one game to do both. They wanted you to have to buy a separate game. And not doing cross platform play it stimulates that. That's why most developers are not on board either. It's easy to do it, but they're not on board because they want you to buy many different versions of that same game. If you can buy one game that does everything, then they lose money. So keeping them in their respective corners allows for them to have more copies that are sold per version.
Just look at Skyrim.
Jesus Christ,
God.
Yeah. How many times they're going to fucking copy and stamp that shit over and over again?
There's another one coming out at the end of this year, apparently, mate. Another edition of Skyrim coming out, apparently.
It was already 4K on the PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X. And now they're just adding 60 frames or whatever the fuck it is. God forbid they'll add ray tracing. They wouldn't do that. But that's the thing. I wanted to ask you this, guys, because I made a promise to myself I was going to go to the bar and be social. I really don't want to fucking go to the bar. I just want to sit there and play my video games. I don't know if you guys noticed, right? Did you guys notice that after the pandemic, are you guys lazier nowadays than before the pandemic? Like you don't feel like doing shit? Is it just me?
Since the pandemic's ended, mate, I've just been wanting to do more stuff. Basically, everything that I always put off before the pandemic, now I try not to put it off because don't know when the next pandemic's happening.
Yeah, I feel like I'm slow. It feels like because I was always on the move. You know, when I woke up, I would have to immediately just continue the inertia. Anyway, what I wanted to ask you guys is the PlayStation showcase. What is it called again? That's going to happen June 2nd?
State of Play.
A State of Play. What do you guys think is going to be in this State of Play?
Well, they've announced, haven't they, that it's going to be apparently PSVR 2 and third-party developers.
Oh, shit. Somebody's in here. Who is that? How do you get out of here? Get in there. He fell out. So you're telling me it's just third party and nothing else?
From what I understand, it's meant to be third party, PSVR 2, and obviously, you know, there is some companies out there like Square Enix that are still technically third party, so they could announce a new Final Fantasy. You know, there's still a possibility that Ragnarok could be announced as well, but just have to wait until Tuesday, man, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think we're going to get an announced date for Ragnarok. But who wanted? I heard somebody trying to talk.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. I have a prediction. I think Corey Barlog, whatever he's making, I know he's not the game director for this Ragnarok. We all know that.
What's going on, Reckon? Mm-hmm.
So I think I think Sony's gonna reveal SOCOM.
I got something, but go on. Reckon. I think you have a clue with this shit, yo. What you think this State of Play going to be about?
Okay, so here I go. This is
Here we go.
again.
You rubbing his hands. Oh.
This is completely conjecture, but Avatar Pandora, I think they'll probably open with that. They'll give an update on a release date, probably for Hogwarts. That is certain. And what is the other one? Forspoken, it's pretty much known. I'm not sure if they're going to introduce that or not. There is a chance. I'm not sure, the first game, which is the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, I think it was, they had a marketing deal with Xbox. I'm not sure who they're going to have the deal with, but there is a chance, again, it would show up either on the Microsoft one or the PlayStation one. But I have a suspicious feeling that it is going to be on the PlayStation one. Because remember, Titanfall first, Titanfall 2, the differences in terms of the release strategy. The EA or Ubisoft, they like to mix it up. They want to go to PlayStation first or Xbox first, and then they want to go to PlayStation or the Xbox. It's just a different way of keeping everyone happy. And they're going to bombard us with PlayStation VR 2. The selling factor for that specific thing is clearly it's now becoming COD, specifically Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. That is going to sell gangbusters. Get ready to, whatever you purchase your systems, have that website ready, because there's a chance that they're going to say we're going to, start selling it. And you want to have to be able to buy it, because you don't want to be the person who misses out on PlayStation VR. And you want to get it as quick as possible, because that thing is going to sell, continuously going to sell with PlayStation 5s. They're going to bundle it together. They are going to go crazy with that thing. It's just imagine the possibilities of what you can do with a complete COD with VR support. The other thing is, I'm not sure.
It's a perfect way to launch. It's a perfect way to launch the VR with a big ass game like Call of Duty.
You know, the interesting thing is they did try to, include. They had Batman, they had Resident Evil with the first one, right? They even had COD Infinite Warfare had a support of you could fly around and play. But at the end of the day, the system wasn't just powerful enough to fully support it. So now I think this is like
it's gonna be front to back. It's gonna be front to back. You can play this shit. It's gonna be, yeah.
Let's just say PSVR 1 was the Wii U of PlayStation's VR. This is the second coming. We're talking about the possibility of having enough power to support majority of the titles that are going to be released. Now, if you're expecting anything first party related, please don't. Ragnarok is almost guaranteed to have its own state of play, and I think they're probably, from Sony's marketing side, they're thinking of more of a pensive movement. What it is they will how to say, preemptively strike the Xbox's marketing with third parties and PlayStation VR, wow us, wow, this is amazing, this is great, and then let them have their own show, and then after it have something. So on both sides, they kind of block it off. On previous occasions, PlayStation, what they used to do during E3 is they would go straight after, because they always knew that what they were going to show is going to, how to say, shadow.
They were the last ones, actually.
Yeah, they were the last ones, and they always like to be the last ones. And the reason they like to be the last ones is because I guess the interesting factor in regards to this whole thing is Jeff Keighley's show. What is in Jeff Keighley's show that Sony is going to deliver there? I'm not sure. It's going to be very interesting if they are going to announce Last of Us there, because The Last of Us does have a good relationship with Jeff Keighley. So, okay, again, complete conjecture. Don't trust me. This is just, it's a fugazi. It's coming out of nowhere. PlayStation VR, Pandora, or Avatar, Pragmata, maybe Forspoken, Modern Warfare is almost guaranteed. Release date for Hogwarts Legacy. And then during Jeff Keighley's show, maybe expect one or two multiplayer announcements. And then after comes God of War Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok is going to be more of a tail end of June announcement, and which gives them around 3 months to do the marketing blitz to launch in September. It is not going to launch in November. If they launch on the 11th of November, just no, please, please don't. That
Jackass, that's what they will be.
It sends a funny message to the fans, but I think it's not worth it, because the developers are going to see it as more of a kicking someone while it's down. I don't think that's a good message. You don't want to be the bully at the end of the day. So that's
it would be nice.
Yeah, but expect Pandora. The Ubisoft's Avatar. Yeah, Pandora is going to be one of the things. It's going to be great. I wouldn't be even surprised if it has PSVR support. So it would be probably, and to go back to the PlayStation State of Play, half of it is going to be VR only title, and then half of it would be titles that has VR support, like Hogwarts Legacy. It runs on Switch, right? So the possibility of having it also in VR chances are very high, because if it can run it in VR, it can be run in if it runs on Switch, it can be run on the VR system. So that's pretty much it. Cool.
I think this is what's going to happen. I haven't heard about the Avatar game. at all. I didn't even know that was a thing. To be perfectly honest with you, but I believe that a lot of it is going to be third party. They will show the Horizon.
What Avatar game we talk about?
I don't know. I want to know.
There's one that was fan made. It's Avatar: The Last Airbender, or you talk about the blue people?
No. The blue cat people. Ubisoft is currently developing Avatar product in conjunction with the release of The Way of the Water. So yeah. So and Sony has the marketing rights to that product to come. I'm not sure if it's going to be delayed or not. The chances of being delayed is very high.
They're making a movie and a game. You think they're just trying to? You think that's just a money grab?
Excuse me?
I don't think it's a money grab.
Like, do you think
he's asking?
I'm asking if they're going to put effort into this game or if it's just coming out because of the movie.
Well, until you get that controller in your hand and start moving, we're not going to know, right? That's how games work.
That is.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to put some effort into it. Honestly, they're going to need something to diffuse or to divert like the attention that movie's going to get, or the lack of attention it's going to get.
You definitely have an opportunity to make a really good video game. A whole franchise, honestly. I mean, they could turn that into an entire series, you know?
I think that they're going to show Call of the Mountain, which is the Horizon, obviously. They're going to show you that. We're going to see what that's all about. Hey, since you mentioned the Avatar situation, I think that's what they're going to do as well, because they are known to kind of fortify games with like movie releases and stuff like that, just to kind of, like I said, fortify it. It's going to be a whole bunch of like third-party games or whatever the case is to kind of give you that. Obviously, they're going to really show VR. I don't think they're going to actually give you a price or date. Not yet. But I will say this. I think that we're going to start to see certain games. Like, I think that's probably too early, but a man could dream. Shit. I think they're going to finally show what Guerrilla Games has been working on, and it's going to be the co-op for Horizon. I also think that they're going to show, and it's going to be like a quick little thing too. I also think that they're going to show Bloodborne remake, and I also think that they're going to show.
Take it easy. No.
Yes.
Bloodborne is a possibility for Jeff Keighley. This state of play is going to be very limited. Please keep that in mind. If you follow Shuhei Yoshida, he specifically said, please read the fine line. The fine line is third party and VR. Bloodborne is first party.
Oh shit! I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
91, go on, please.
Yeah, so I'm not going to be expecting much from Sony at this state of play. But what I will say is I'm interested to see what Microsoft's going to do. Because, I mean, I'm just... to be honest with you, like, I spent $500. I think I feel like I wasted... I mean, here's the thing. I didn't waste money. I just don't understand why. What are they going to show at the Xbox showcase? Like, we already know what Sony's going to show. Like, that's already
we actually don't, though. They kept everything close to the chest. We don't even know. This is all we know. Is something coming. We know that much.
Surprises. Sony's got surprising people. Like this,
they ain't saying shit.
So I know you have Wolverine coming out.
Well, and that's early days and shit too. But we do know those games are coming out, and we know that they're good for making really compelling games. Let me ask Sony really quickly, Sonyverse, and then I'm gonna go back to you on 91 about the showcase.
Oh, my bad. Hold on. No, I was gonna say, in the state of play, I see, because it's third party, right? So I think we're gonna get, Resident Evil VR. What is it? Resident Evil 4 VR will probably be shown for VR 2. I think we're also going to see Resident Evil because they're supposed to be getting a PS5 update, right? Or a patch for RE remake. Is that 2 and 3? So we'll probably see that. Another thing that I think will get announced is Stray's Annapurna Stray game release date, which is supposed to be dropping here in the next couple months. So we'll probably see that. They'll probably say that it's probably going to be a part of the PlayStation Plus subscription, or you can flat out buy it. So there'll be a date for that. I also think that we'll probably get, going to Summer Games Fest, right? I think at the end of this whole thing, which is just going to be third party, as well as PSVR 2, about 20 titles they said. I think we'll also probably get a hint at, Summer's Games Fest. That whole, wait, we have one more thing to show you. We'll be at the end of this stream stating when we're going to get the God of War Ragnarok state of play. And I think when it comes to Summer Games Fest, what we will see there, if we don't see it at the state of play, will be Metal Gear Solid in VR. That is going to be probably one of the biggest things, if not Silent Hill game. And I'll leave it at that.
So I can't think about no Silent Hill. I can't do it.
I see them bringing back Metal Gear. I tell you what, I have a better prediction. I think Sony's going to shock us. We have just acquired Konami, and we're bringing back Metal Gear, a remake. They're going to do. And I probably want to say Corey Barlog's probably going to work on it with Hideo Kojima.
Well, let me ask you guys this before we close out. I'll start down a list, and I'll keep you last, 91. Reckon, what do you feel that Microsoft is going to show for their little show?
I'll go first.
Ooh. No, wait, sorry.
Yeah, let me
go ahead.
Go ahead,
Reckon.
Yeah. So, they need to show 4 things. Number 1, Wolfenstein 3, Hellblade 2, Forza Motorsport 8, and last but not least, a surprise title that is a long lost treasure. Let's just say that. I think it's just going to be that Indiana Jones title. But I'm not sure they will be able to do a game showcase because Machine Games is developing that. And the problem is Machine Games is also working on Wolfenstein 3. So, I seriously don't understand the Microsoft strategy of announcing multiple titles for a studio. You don't do that, because what ends up happening, with Hellblade or the Ninja Theory guys, Project Mara, Bleeding Edge, and Hellblade 2. It's like, why are you keep doing that? Sony tried to do that with Naughty Dog, and one of the things they've discovered is it's very hard to do 2 things at the same time. You need proper, studio structure to support that. And the Indiana Jones, as I said, title is probably they need to say something about it. And yeah, it's just, to be honest, I don't have any high hopes. I'm just, I'm going to wake up and watch that thing, and I'm hoping that they would surprise us. But the chances of them delivering pure gameplay-based, something that wows us is very limited. It's like we all seen what Hellblade 2 looks like, right? That was the thing that was going to wow us. They've already done that. So what else they have to surprise us? Is Crystal Dynamic and Initiatives, what do you call it? Project, Perfect Dark is going to look amazing. I don't know. It's like what is there left to surprise us? That is the thing for Microsoft. It's like they either announce it too early or they announce it too late. They always miss the perfect timing of their titles. And this is why I always keep blaming Aaron Greenberg, because his timing is just horrible. So I hope they do good, but I don't think they'll manage to do anything about it. And also, please keep in mind, this is Microsoft plus Bethesda. It's not Microsoft show. It's not just an Xbox show. It's a Bethesda show. So the chances of Bethesda titles, overshadowing their own studios, well, now Bethesda's is their own studio, but they are keeping it separate. Again, another marketing mistake. Why keep making those mistakes? I have no idea. Like, how do you announce that you're going to have 2 publishers or 3 publishers under your wing? It's like, anyway, from a business perspective, horrible. But I'm just hoping that Wolfenstein 3 is amazing and it comes up as soon as possible. That's it.
Okay. So what about you, Cloaks? What do you think Microsoft's going to do? Cloak, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm not too sure what they're going to do. I just know that they're going to do the Marcus Phoenix collection, and then I would hope to see something of Fable, the new Fable thing. But that's about it.
That's not coming out for a long fucking time.
At least a trailer or something.
Yeah. Damn. No hope so far.
But that's about it.
What about you, Sonyverse? What you gotta say about it?
Xbox is going to show Death Proof. No, I'm playing. I'm not Death Proof. What the hell is the name of that game? You know what I'm talking about. Yes, thank you. Yeah, they're going to show that. Probably. No. No, I know they have marketing rights to a game called Somerville, which is made by Jumpship, which is kind of indie. I'm actually looking forward to playing that game, but I'm not buying it for an Xbox, buying it on PC. It's made by the same people who made like Limbo. I think a co-founder of that company, Playdead, like branched off and made his own thing. So there's a game called Somerville that's coming out that looks interesting. So we'll probably see that. There's also a game that's kind of like Cyberpunk, but it's more platformed, which is called Replaced. We'll probably see that. As far as like their head games from their studios, I know that there's supposed to be a new Forza Motorsport to come out, so we'll probably see something in relevance to that. Maybe it's Bethesda, so they'll probably show. They have to show Starfield at this point. We'll probably see something updated as far as like, maybe a short multiplayer snippet of Redfall. But short of that, I mean, here's the crazy thing, right? It doesn't really matter what Xbox shows, because Sony has set themselves up. Sony's doing the state of play, and I don't mean to shit on Xbox, but I'm just speaking facts here. They're doing the state of play, right? Which is going to hold over until the summer. Then Xbox is going to show their hand, right? Which then leaves Sony to deliver like whatever Xbox shows is still not going to trump, because Sony will have the last laugh, right? It'll continue on onto that trend. So whatever, even if Xbox shows Starfield and it's an amazing cinematic slash gameplay trailer, all Sony has to do is drop a video of God of War, which is going to trump that, right? And then even if they roll back and say, okay, then we'll show Hellblade next, then Sony will show the next IP that they haven't showed. It could be Spider-Man 2, in their showcase. So to be completely honest, that's probably what it's going to be, is a lot of indie games coming to Game Pass or whatever their marketing stuff is for Game Pass. They'll show. And as far as like their top tier studios and what games that they're going to be showing, it's probably going to be games that have been delayed, like Starfield. I don't think we're going to, if we see Indiana Jones, is going to be a trailer of Dr. Jones talking about like his excursion. And yeah, that's about it. And move on from that.
Okay. What about you, Nate? No, Yorkshire. What you think they're going to show?
I mean, the need to show like Starfield definitely needs something to be shown. With the whole delayed announcement. Same with Redfall. I'm hoping to see maybe something on Fable. I won't mind a bit more info on that. But then I genuinely think that a little bit of it's got. I don't think it's going to be about games. I think they're going to like talk about this like streaming fucking device that they're trying to put out there. You know, like the console free gaming stuff that they're trying to advertise. But I don't know, man. Like, same with the state of play. It's one of them. I don't like to make speculations. I'd rather wait to see it, you know, before making any assumptions.
I'm scratching my head as to figuring out what the fuck they're going to release. Nate, do you have? I mean, I know you don't really fuck around with consoles, but what do you think they're going to do?
Honestly, I have no idea. I'm probably not going to watch it.
Do you want any game from Microsoft?
Dude, the only game I'm really looking forward to is the sequel to Hollow Knight. Really, that's the only thing I'm fucking super excited for. But we have no idea how long that's going to take to come out. So, no, I have no idea what they're going to say.
All right, and then you, 91. What you guys say about this?
Oh man, I'll say expect to see motorsport. Some gameplay of Hellblade 2. They're not going to show Starfield because
they have to show Starfield. They have to show it.
That creation engine. That has to be a reason why Phil Spencer went there and did a photo op picture, and him and Matt Booty and Aaron Greenberg. I mean, they know that game's not in good. I mean, by the looks of it, that game is not in good shape. I'm sure that's why they delayed it. Either that, or they just want people to continue to pay for Game Pass subscriptions. That's my theory. I have a theory. Other than that, I mean, Microsoft has a history and management problem, and I've seen it. I mean, Phil Spencer's got to go, man. I mean, move him somewhere else. I mean, people don't just spend $500 and you can just show a CGI trailer. I mean, it's absurd. That's what really scared me. Is like that's the reason why I bought a PS5. Because it's a delay to Starfield, and then you release a Hellblade 2 announcement trailer at 2019 Game Awards. Think about that, 2019. Okay, and it's just still hiring. Microsoft's hands off, so that's what you get. And they have it. This is not the first time. This is a pattern of mistakes they've been having. And canceled the Scalebound and released Phil Spencer released Crackdown 3, which is in bad condition. And then you have Halo Infinite. I mean, at this point, the only game I see.
What do you think they're going to show, though?
Motorsport, next generation Motorsport. That's going to be a huge contender. From what the rumors are saying, the new Motorsport is going to be on the level of Gran Turismo in terms of simulation driving. That's the rumor I'm seeing. That's what I'm hearing. And I'm sure they'll probably show Perfect Dark or something. Who knows, man?
You guys sound so unenthusiastic about their shit. That's terrible.
Hey, we're all in agreement.
I'm trying to help them, and it's like you guys are like so ho hum.
Hey, but we're all in agreement though. Like the first 10, 15 minutes of the showcase is going to be like a big ass apology for like the DRM situation, from like the cancellation to like, we're so sorry that all this happened, but to make things right.
Let me say this real quick. God, if anybody listens to this, you know, I urge people to do their research and go back and look at what Phil Spencer said prior to what he says. Look at his track history, things he has said in the past, and they never come to fruition.
Like, I don't know any of them that actually came to fruition. Reckon, what you got to say? I really don't.
Yeah, the main thing
It's
I
a
wanted
it's a
to
Like I'm
downgrade.
saying,
say,
it makes
Just
it
get out
sound like
console.
it makes me feel like it sounds like I'm a fanboy. I don't know what they said, and then I'm asking all of you guys, and I guess everybody's going to say that this is the room full of ponies somehow, even though Nate doesn't have a fucking PlayStation.
I own both consoles, bro. I'm just
They're
saying,
going to
like,
still
man, there's
the false narrative. They're going to say that you know it's a room full of ponies because it's the only way they can win their argument.
no. I mean,
the main thing
you
I
sold
wanted
us
to
this
say.
idea. He sold us this idea of just we're gonna release four AAA quality games every year. Okay, Phil Spencer, where are they at? I mean,
Yeah,
you showed
he lied.
Hellblade. You showed Hellblade, and it's 2022. Go back to be 2023. That's 5 years, and you're still hiring. Then you lost half your staff at the initiative, and then you have Starfield. I mean, and then they don't know what they're making on what's that one game? They have no idea from Rare's team. What's that game they're making? They don't have it. They don't have an idea.
Perfect Dark.
Everwild.
Everwild. I mean, I'm looking at all this. I said, what the fuck are they doing? What are they doing? Like, Microsoft cannot afford to make the same mistakes in Xbox One generation, because what would happen is if consumers feel that they're not getting value in Game Pass. Like, Game Pass is not it's nice, but it's not you know the next greatest thing, because it's all indie games. It's not God of
Right.
War.
The
It's
main thing
not Horizon.
the main thing I wanted to say is that, let's say, like, just take a hypothetical, right? We are Game Studio A, and we're making a blockbuster AAA game that we know that it is going to sell 2 to 3 million. If Microsoft comes to
Xbox
us,
gamers,
and
Xbox people, they just need to buy games, bro. They just need to
yes,
tell Phil Spencer, "Hey, man, we've had it with this. You're constant. You're just lying. Like, bro, how many times are you gonna lie to your consumers, bro? Like,
So, Reckon, what you gotta say about this?
yeah,
And by the way, and yeah, I can hear you, Jemiah. I tried to invite you in here, man. This shit was not allow you to go in there. Like, I tried
So
multiple times. This doesn't work.
the main thing I wanted to say in regards to this is, like, from a business perspective, we know that if there's a publisher or a developer there who knows that they're going to sell their product and not going to put into a subscription services like Game Pass, it is better to market a PlayStation than Xbox, because as soon as you start marketing on the platform of Xbox, your game is going to be asked if it's going to be on Game Pass. That's exactly what happened with Scarlet Nexus, right? They went with the marketing strategy through Xbox, and as a result, what ended up happening is people thought that it was going to be on Game Pass. No, it wasn't going to be on Game Pass. They're going to sell it, but they've marketed it with it. Do you guys remember that Elden Ring had a marketing deal with the Xbox, Microsoft platform, but they
and then
pivoted.
From Software said no.
No, they pivoted. And the reason they
Yeah.
pivoted was they didn't want to get associated with Game Pass, because if you market through Xbox, there's a chance that the public is going to perceive that it is going to be a day and date. That is a big problem with them at the moment. That's why I was talking, that this is the reason I was talking to you about the new Star Wars game. I think it's called Survivor, was it? Is that even going to be part of it? Because the previous one was. I don't think this one is going to be associated with them, because EA knows that they need to sell it. And as soon as you get associated with the marketing platform, the question is going to be asked, is it going to be on Game Pass?
I mean, Game Pass is not working. You have 25 million subscribers, bro. You're not growing your subscription fan. You don't have the content. You're not Sony. You're not Nintendo. Phil Spencer and Satya Nadella needs to realize that. Satya Nadella is new. I don't think he understands gaming.
No, a lot of rich people don't fucking get it. These people are not even they. Man, I would say that when you have
25 million.
He was given this position. You know what I'm saying? He didn't earn it. He didn't build it. Like I would think Bill Gates would know more than this dude. He doesn't even know what the fuck's going on. You know what I'm saying? And for some reason, I think Phil Spencer was able to lie to him like a regular investor. It was like, yo, look, we got revenue. And I guess now he's probably going to be like, yo, where's the numbers at? And once he figures out that this isn't going anywhere, man, he's in deep shit. You know, but this shouldn't be this. He's going to have an early retirement. So, well, I mean, if he's so smart, I mean, there's other projects that he could have. I think that he has a lot of money to burn. Just like if you gave me like $10 million, I would have a lot of I would make that work. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people, you know, if you have an inkling of intelligence, you can flip that shit, regardless of the matter.
One thing I'm going to say is the greatest investment, and I hope that it was part of Phil Spencer, one of the greatest investments Xbox made as a platform was Minecraft. That was a shrewd move, because if they didn't have Minecraft at the moment, oh boy, because that thing is making money hand over fist, because every single school around the world uses it. It's just, I'm not sure if it's luck. It was a shrewd move, them getting Minecraft, because that is one of the reasons that they are keeping afloat. Because every time you turn on, Minecraft in any other system, you get that marketing Xbox. So, that was a saving grace. That was a miraculous move on their behalf. And I think with Bethesda and with Activision Blizzard, they're trying to repeat that. But the problem of it is that there's too many IPs, too many ships. It's like Minecraft itself is an institution. COD is not an institution. COD is just pastime. Minecraft is Lego in the digital age, right? So as long as Minecraft exists, Xbox is going to continue.
Well, here's the thing. I agree with you on that, but you're last place. You're the worst. You're the worst platform in console gaming. Period. That's the fact.
So my whole thing is not to shit on them. Like I literally open space to allow people to share what they feel about their showcase, and no one has faith on it. That is telling. Jeremiah, what you got to say before we close out this?
I would say real quick, as far as Xbox goes, Xbox will exist until Microsoft doesn't want to do it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, Xbox can never turn a profit until the end of time, and Microsoft can keep it going forever. You know what I mean? As far as the showcase, I think they're going to show some CGI shit. They're going to show some Starfield to close it out, and they might show some Hellblade 2 to probably open the show to get people hype. But it's going to be more the same shit. Grounded DLC, Sea of Thieves DLC, shit like that. I have no faith in this show for them.
I mean, I guess everybody could sit there and say that everyone in this room is a fucking pony, but that's not the case. You know what I mean? It's straight up like you haven't built up enough rapport with your own fucking fan base. I don't even see people that like Xbox and have Xbox really hype for this shit. You know what I mean? They just hype the fact that it's happening, but they don't have any aspirations as to they don't know what's going on with this thing, because it could be any fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see them saying, ooh, like for us, anybody that likes PlayStation, oh, it could be Bloodborne, it could be, Forspoken, it could be bump, maybe a trailer for there, because we kind of know Sony will provide it because they have always been providing it for as long as they had it. So that's what I believe is really going on with this one. But there's just straight up. Even the fans don't know. What's up, man?
Let me ask you this, okay? How long has Phil Spencer been head of Xbox?
What was it?
2014. Is that correct?
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, like 7 years.
How many years is that?
About seven, whatever.
Okay, and we're still getting the same results, right? Not releasing games on time.
People are going to say that
games.
Game Pass is the fucking thing that bridged that gap. They're going to say Game Pass is you don't need to release games because Game Pass is giving you games for $1 or whatever the fuck it is.
No, it's time for him to lead. I think Satya Nadella. I think he's going to get fired. I think
Game
Phil
Pass is
Spencer's
kind
going
of
to get moved.
scary. I don't like
What do you
Game
say?
Pass.
No,
I don't like Game Passes.
no. Because here's the thing: you have more players on PlayStation ever before. You don't think they're going to go to Congress and say, you know what, we don't like this model of Game Pass subscription service? Like they say, we want the quality.
He's not going to get fired. He's going to fucking have an early retirement or pass the fucking baton to save face. He's not like they're not going to abruptly do this shit. You're going to give him a fucking deadline to do it. Oh, it's been a wonderful 7 years or however way it is. You know
That's
what I'm
a long
saying?
time, bro. 7 years is too long.
But
let me
can I say something real quick? Like
Yeah.
I know gamers are like, we don't have any games, but as far as Phil's job goes, on his side of the fence, he's making Xbox more money than they ever made. You know what I mean? And they're spending less money than they ever spent. They haven't put out any games, and yet people are still championing the system. They're still selling a bunch of fucking bunch of microtransactions and shit like that. Xbox revenue is up. Phil is doing an awesome job. He's selling motherfuckers dreams and hopes and wishes without giving them anything for the last 7 years, and people are still championing his name, screaming for him and shit. So I think Phil's doing an awesome job as far as being a salesman and a marketer and shit. But as far as giving games out to the people, I mean, that's on y'all, I guess, to revolt. But as far as the money goes, he's making them more money than ever. You can see the stats. You can see the numbers.
Yeah, but that's Matt Booty's responsibility. I mean,
It doesn't matter who's Matt Booty. It don't matter who it is. He's so like Jemiah said. They literally, wishing dreams. They coasted on fucking wishes and dreams for 7 years, and they didn't have to really do too much. They bought all that shit. Like this, if you want to talk about the $68 billion, they bought that shit just to be publishers later on.
Yeah, so you spent $100 billion on studios. Okay, where are the games at?
You're looking at it as a game, as a gamer aspect or a standpoint.
Yeah, the thing is,
if you look at it, no, it's not about what Sony is doing. We're looking at the raw numbers. The revenue is up, and that's why he still has a fucking place. PR. He's popular in the PR. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a fuck about no games. It's clear as day. It's clear as day.
So let me ask you this: if Sony, let's say Sony stops making games, and Microsoft was the one who took them out of business, how would you feel?
I mean, at that point, I would probably go to PC.
But my thing is this, though. Phil came into the joint, right? He canceled Scalebound. He canceled Fable Legends and told gamers it was the best for them. And gamers went, you right. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know why people have hate for Phil, because Phil is doing exactly what Satya wants him to do. You know what I mean? He got the fucking marching orders. He's pushing his cloud shit. He's pushing his fucking subscription shit. He's doing what Microsoft wants him to do. So why would he get fired? That's why I don't think people understand.
That's why I say early retirement, man. That motherfucker is getting out of Dodge before that shit hit the fan. In terms of PR, hear me out. He did what he was supposed to do. Just like, what's his name? Howard Stringer, whatever the fuck it is. That was head of Sony. No. The guy that was head of Sony, Howard Stringer, whatever the fuck it was. Mm-hmm. He went in, fired a whole bunch of fucking people because the Japanese wasn't doing it, and then he was out. He did what he did, and he was out. I think that's what's going to happen. I think this is a good way of transitioning the Xbox to publisher standpoint, and to mitigate, like he really changed the mindset of everything. The mindset was, don't expect no fucking games with a $15 service. Like, if the games turn out to be shitty on this $15 service, I mean, you only paid $15 for it. Like, can you really complain? So there's that. But I'm gonna close this shit out, man. I got shit to do. Oh man, all these talks are always fucking exhausting, man. Because it's like I look like a fucking fanboy. For I'm trying to make it work for them, and nobody can seem to give me, even the most avid fucking fanboy can't give me what they're doing, and I've let them on too. They can't give me anything that they're doing to benefit gamers. You know what I'm saying? The last time I had somebody, they was talking about customer service that for gamers. That's what they did for gamers. He helped me repair my console and had excellent customer service. That's what they ended up doing. Which is a shame. You know what I mean? Oh well. Well. But anyway, I'm gonna close this out, y'all. Don't forget to jump on to my YouTube. Which is Gamecast or whatever the case is. Follow that shit. This video is completely who was that? Oh, you too late,
Sorry
man.
about that.
DeAndre, you too late.
I'm going to work, guys. I'm getting out of here.
All right, you guys take it easy.
Gamecast. It's good come.
Say again?
I'm getting out of here. I'm about to leave work.
Oh yeah. All right, guys. All right, peace out, guys.